Hey, this is Matt once again with about 10 other videos, another paid request, this time for Walter. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it, man. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal, usually the best bet. Do have a Patreon as well. Both of those links are down below in most of these videos. And this is for a film called We're the Millers, which I got confused with another movie because I thought, oh, I've seen this film. But I'm like, oh, actually I haven't. Got confused with another one, but this stars Jason Sudeikis, who was in Horrible Bosses 1 and 2, among other stuff. You also have Jennifer Aniston from the TV show Friends. Thomas Lennon, who I remember from a TV show I really enjoy. I really do enjoy, Reno 911. He's in it for a teeny bit. Ed Helms from the Hangover trilogy, he's in here as, you say, the main villain. Emma Roberts from Scream 4, she's in this. Will Poulter, who became that character Adam Warlock in the new Marvel stuff, Guardians of the Galaxy, stuff of that nature, he's in this. Pretty much the story is Jason Sudeikis deals with pot, and his business is doing well. And in the same building is Jennifer Aniston, who's a stripper. Now, one thing leads to another. He meets up with this guy, Will Poulter, this kid, who seems very nice, naive, but very nice kid. And this girl, this runaway, played by Emma Roberts, is being attacked. The kid wants to stand up for her. Jason Sudeikis like, I'll let her go. But then ultimately tries to help a little bit. They want his bag. He's like, no, fuck off. They chase him, they beat him up. They find his place. They steal all his money, so now he doesn't know what he's going to do to his boss, played by Ed Helms, because all this money that was collected throughout that week, which is a lot of money, also his savings, is gone. So Ed Helms is like, well, okay, well, could kill you, but I'll make you a deal. If you go to Mexico, you get these drugs for me, be a little bit of a drug smuggler. Not only will we be even, but I'll pay you $100,000. So he has no choice, so he'll do it. So he knows that if he goes there by himself, it's going to be big. Needs to be a bit more inconspicuous. So a family. So he hires a family. Jennifer Aniston doesn't want to do it, but then her job says that they want them to start fucking the customers, so she's like, fuck that, and she ultimately decides to work with Jason's character. Will Poulter, he'll do it because there's nobody there, his mom or whatever is gone for a while, and he just is a nice, naive kid. I thought Will Poulter did a good job. It's very easy to have that type of character be very annoying, very, like, what the fuck, dude, are you stupid? Like, do you know the sky is blue? Like, are you that naive? But I thought he handled that innocence part quite well. And then Emma Roberts will do it for a little bit of money. And pretty much the journey is on. I will say at the end of the day, I thought the film was okay. I thought it was alright. I will say I thought it was a much better version of the Vacation reboot than the actual Vacation reboot, which Ed Helms was the star of that. Because while I didn't love the film, this one felt a bit more, in a weird way, that spirit of National Lampoon's Vacation than the actual Vacation reboot. And again, it just made me think of it because of this journey. And Ed Helms is in, I don't know, just one of those things that any minute I keep thinking I'm going to hear Holiday Road. I mean, if this was the family and they just went on a trip, like if they changed the plot a little bit and this was part of the Vacation franchise, I could kind of see this working. Just like Jason Sudeikis, he could be like a little bit more like Chevy Chase compared to Ed Helms. And that's the thing, if you rework this a bit, sometimes I do these reviews and I say stuff out loud and I'm like, you know what, actually, yeah. if you reworked this a bit, it would have been a decent National Lampoon's Vacation movie. And like I said, it would have been a much better reboot. It does have its issues, but it was a big hit. It cost around $37 million. It made $150 million in the U.S., so it made a good chunk of change. It is from the director of Dodgeball. I think what makes the film work is the chemistry between the four leads. Jason Sudeikis and Jennifer Aniston, I thought, worked rather well together, where they sniped back and forth with each other. It felt easygoing, like they're going back and forth. It didn't feel awkward. Felt like both were on their marks for the most part. I don't know how much I buy Jennifer Aniston as a stripper. I don't know. I can't help it. I just don't buy Jennifer Aniston as a stripper. And no, you do not see any of the goods, which is another reason why it's hard to buy her as a stripper. We ain't not going to show any of the fucking goods, so. Again, she's probably one of the least convincing strippers I've seen in a while, but it is what it is. Now, I do like Jason and Aniston's back and forth. I like Jason being kind of a father figure, but not really, for Will Poulter's character. Like when him and Aniston are fighting, and Will Poulter says that, immediately Jason goes, "Nope, it's called flirting, Kenny. You'll learn in college." Or he's giving them money for clothes, but then he gives the money back because he looks at Will Poulter and goes, "No, you're fine. You already look like a dipshit. Everyone else, they'll look like dipshits." Or they're in the RV and there's a guy kind of talking with them and like, okay, no, actually before it, when he gets the idea, he sees a family in an RV and they're trying to ask him directions. And I mean, he's being a dip, but it was a funny line where it's like, "Fuck off, real life Flanders." Now, Ed Helms, I don't really care about him really as an actor. I mean, he worked for what he had to do in The Hangover. Really, the first Hangover. That's pretty much it. Other stuff I've seen him in, it's like he works fine playing that type of character he did in The Hangover, but other stuff, it just, I didn't, whether it be the Vacation reboot, whether it be, what was that other movie? I mean, this movie. There's other stuff I've seen him in. Cedar Rapids, I think that's what it was called. Didn't know it takes place in Iowa. Just don't really buy him in those roles. And his stuff was just not that funny. Okay, the joke is that his office has a big old bit of water and there's an orca. I don't know if it's just dragging a dolphin. I think it's just dragging a dolphin back and forth. Or later he has an ice sculpture where he's fucking a whale. Because I guess his dick is in the blowhole in this ice sculpture. I guess that's the joke. It's more like, oh great, okay, whatever. I also thought like 2 hours is a bit lengthy for a comedy. And I think there's certain things that could have been cut out and shortened. Bit of better pacing. Now this joke, also I thought it was weird that I thought it'd be a lot tougher for them to get into Mexico and get to this stuff, but no. It goes off pretty much without a hitch. And they get the stuff and they're out of it, and I'm like, wait a minute. Their journey's done. Like, they went across Mexico, they're already across the border. We got like over an hour left in the movie, what the fuck? Like, most of their journey's done. No, apparently not. So I thought that they would wrangle a little bit more, milk a little bit more out of the whole Mexico bit, but they really don't. Now, I did like the bit with Luis Guzman. I know a lot of people find this pretty lowbrow, and I don't blame them, but Will Poulter, I think they said his character was 18. Pretty much, they meet up with Luis Guzman, who is in Mexico, and he's ready to search the RV, which has a shitload of marijuana, because they realize that it's not just a little smidge, it's like 2 tons of the shit. And so Louis Guzman wants either some money or some oral payment. And then Jason's like to Aniston, don't suck him off. Be a team player. Fuck you. No, actually, I'm into the male persuasion. And then Aniston goes right back, well, go ahead. Suck his dick. Come on. Be a team player. Sort of a tit for tat. And then Jason's trying to push Will Poulter to do it. No, I'm not gay. No, it's not being gay. Listen, you sound very homophobic. I'm homophobic because I don't want a penis in the mouth? Exactly. Okay? It's exactly what it means. just say it for a girl's dick, okay? Just any girl's dick you want. And he's like, I don't think that logic doesn't work. And I'm doing a poor job of it, but again, their back and forth is what made it work, and then they find out that it's actually 100 pesos, or 1,000 pesos, so much more manageable in money. So they don't end up doing it. I think that's also what makes the joke work. If they went along with it, and he was, because some comedies would do that. Some comedies would be like, oh, he's forced to do it, and that's the joke, and it'd be it's a bit crossing the line, but the fact that it doesn't cross that line, I think makes the joke work a bit better and funnier in the long run. Now, I'm not really big on the whole villain stuff. Like, you have this guy in Mexico who's this drug dealer and realizes that Ed Helms is trying to rip him off by using these guys, so they go across Mexico to find our main characters. That whole bit of the plot really wasn't that interesting. There's a bit where Jennifer Aniston tries to do this big strip show, which again, it's hard for me to buy Aniston because, number one, I like Jennifer Aniston as an actress. I don't think she's the prettiest lady. And I know what I'm saying because I'm not the prettiest guy, but I can admit that. I can admit I don't think she's the prettiest lady. And I don't even know how old she was at this part of her life and career. And also, if you're not going to show the goods, not that great of a stripper if you're not going to show the goods. Get the titties out. Or get the fuck out. Get the titties out or get the fuck out. Which is it? Aniston. You ain't gonna show the titties, you get no 50s. What can I say? Need the tit old bitties. Or is it case of the shitties? As in, oh, this shit sucks. But anyway. The stuff I liked was, again, the camaraderie and the performances and the chemistry between the four. Of the four, Emma Roberts felt a little bit lesser compared to the others. She felt kind of the odd man out, so to speak. But she didn't have a whole lot to work with. That's why it seemed like they knew that, so they forced in this bit of this guy who just repeats, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And Jason's like, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. And that's a joke that kind of runs its course fairly quickly. And ultimately, it's to showcase that our characters feel more like a family at this point. Jason and Jennifer Aniston feel like parents to this kid, even though they're technically not. So that's why they're talking stern to her like parents. I get that that's the purpose, but again, it just felt like forced stuff of, we need to have Emma Roberts something to do with her. And it just pushes the runtime to 2 hours. So, I don't know. I didn't mind the stuff between them and this other family that they meet to help them out because the RV gets broken down because of one of the hoses and they don't know what to do next. And this seemingly very nice, courteous family who are nice, they help the family. You find out that the guy is a DEA agent. But they worked well. It was funny, again, if you reworked that, they could have been like the Randy Quaid family in Vacation. I didn't think of it like if this returned to the Vacation reboot. You don't need a reboot. Just don't do it at all. But if you had to do it, this actually would have been better than the one they actually did. But like, there's a funny bit where Aniston and Jason are talking, what should we do? And then she's like, we'll cut their throats. And it's like, what? What do you say that? What am I, Scarface? What are you doing? No, I just said it out loud. And Aniston's the one who said that out loud. So they sneaked in to steal the keys, but then the other family wake up. But they assume that Aniston and Jason are into weird teeny sex stuff. And so, and then the other, I forget the actress's name. She's like, I'm not really ready for that, but can I do this one thing? And she touches Aniston's boobs. Whew, okay, that's the first step, baby steps, right? Okay, have a good night. It's push it to a limit, but not overdoing it to a point there's not... Like the Vacation reboot, I keep mentioning that because that's a comedy that tried to be shocking, but it's like, oh, it's funny that this family's in a big old pile of shit, and they're bathing in shit. It's funny because this cow got hit, whatever the hell it was, cow, whatever, I forget what animal, and it explodes his bloody gore. It's funny because there's Chris Hemsworth's penis, and you're ready to see his penis out of his shorts. Isn't that funny? It's funny because little brother is ready to murder his big brother and strangling him. You go, what the fuck? Like, the humor between the family in this, or the family, that felt more like National Pooh's Vacation than the fucking reboot. So again, that's, I think, what made the film be okay, is the way that the four work together. Like I said, the drug dealer stuff and Ed Helms stuff, pretty forgettable. The guy chasing after him, the from Mexico, the acting was kind of meh, so in one ear out the other. You see, it's predictable in the fact of, these four are going to finally start working together. They're going to start getting along with each other. Then they'll start being a family. Lo and behold, there's a point where they sing along, most of them, to TLC, Waterfalls. So again, while I don't think it needed to be 2 hours long, the villain stuff, the bad guy, Mexico, drug dealer stuff, just were some of the lesser points of the film. But I know they had to have a reason for them doing it in the first place. But at the same time, you didn't really need the bad guys chasing after them. It could just be they're going back and just one thing after another happens where they're... Again, okay, the hose breaks down, they meet this family. Then it could just be like random stuff that just keeps happening, and it's like we have the worst luck ever. It's like karma. It's like some kind of fate or destiny that doesn't want to make us to this situation, and just have like weird, off the cuff, random circumstances happen, and just them getting more and more like, is this fate? Is this luck? Is this karma? What is it? I probably would prefer that randomness compared to the drug dealer portion. And also, like, Thomas Lennon, he's in the film at the very, very beginning as his classmate, college classmate, who meets Jason Sudeikis. But I thought he would be back in the film. He really doesn't. So it's sad that people like that just, they don't get featured more into the movie. But overall, I thought it was an okay film. Like, because of the acting, because of the four main leads, because of their chemistry, it made it worth at least one watch. I would never see the film again, but I did get some chuckles out of it by the way their dialogue, interaction between each other. And I said, I didn't mind the other family that they meet up as well. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.